Let's begin with this thrifted floral artwork. I love this already, but when I put it on my fireplace mantle, that beigey colored matte kind of faded into the background. What I'm gonna do is I'm going to take apart this whole frame and I'm going to paint the matte around this floral piece black. I'm just taking some black acrylic paint that I have on hand. I'm also taping off the little brass insert around the artwork with some painter's tape so that I don't get that painted, and I'm also really careful not to get any paint on the artwork. I'm gonna let this dry. I'm going to remove this painter's tape, and there's a few little pieces where the black paint leaked onto the brass frame, so I'm just taking a little craft knife and scraping that off. I only had to use one coat of paint and I think it covered really well. I love how this turned out. I love this organic shaped dinnerware that we have at our little lake house rental. It's so sturdy, however, it does get scratched after a few months of use. The best product I've found to remove these scratches from dinnerware is Barkeeper's Friend. What I do is I rub some all over the plate and let it sit for about 5 minutes, and then I take a microfiber cloth and just rub that away. It removes all of those scratches from silverware, from cutlery on my plates. Believe me, I have tried so many different methods. I've tried baking soda, lemon juice, vinegar, but the Barkeeper's Friend is the product that works the best to remove all of these gray colored scuffs and scratches. So here is what the plate looks like before, and here's what it looks like after I rub that Barkeeper's Friend all over. Take a pillowcase and you place it over your fan blade just like this, and then you use it to dust your fan blade, and all of the dust from the blade falls into the pillowcase. This is especially useful for a fan like this one. We have this one over top of our bed in our master bedroom, so I don't want any dust falling on even the mattress in the bedroom. Then after I'm finished cleaning the whole fan, I could just toss that pillowcase in the laundry, and that is that. It's a really simple and straightforward way to clean my fan without having all of that dust fall all over our bedroom. This is a great way to hem drapes if you're short on time or you don't want to sew. Make sure your drapes are clean and pressed before hanging them on your curtain rod. Determine how long you want your finished curtains to be. I usually prefer to have my drapes just touch or skim the floor. Use a stick pin to mark where you want the bottom of the hem of the drape to be. Mark it in a couple of different spots just in case. Then measure from the bottom of your current hem to the pin. For the drapes here in my studio, this measurement was 10 inches. Next, subtract 2 inches from that measurement. This will be for your new hem, and make a mark. For me, this measurement was 8 inches. Make several marks with a pencil using this measurement along the bottom of your drapes. Then take a straight edge and join the marks to create a straight line. Use shears to cut along this line. Bring your ironing board right to your drapes. Flip your drape so that the back side is up on top of your ironing board, and turn the bottom edge over 1 inch. Press with your iron all along the fold, making sure it measures 1 inch. Repeat, folding your edge over again another inch. Finally, use some wide hem tape, insert it in between your double folded hem, and use your iron to adhere it to your hem. If your drapes have polyester content, don't turn your iron up too hot or you'll melt your fabric. And that's it! Your no-sew hem is complete. This is a simple way to hem your drapes without a sewing machine and in no time at all. I love these magnetic spice rack shelves. I found them on Amazon. I will link them down in the description box below, as well as everything that I'm featuring in today's video. These are perfect for a wall, or in this case, for the side of the fridge. This one from Amazon fits my spice jars perfectly. I'm also putting my salt and pepper up here. They're really strong. You'll probably be surprised. I like to install them by kind of tipping them from the top to the bottom, because once you have them in place, they're really hard to move. There's also hooks that come with this little shelf, and I'm putting them on the side of the shelf here on the bottom and hanging some kitchen utensils here so that I'm able to free up some space in drawers and on the countertops.
Make sure to hold on to your fabric scraps because you can make some really beautiful and unique DIYs with them. For this DIY, I'm taking a few 6-inch sized square fabric scraps, and then I'm taking some rice and I'm placing about 3 tablespoons of rice in the middle of the square. You can use pinking shears to cut these or simply just cut them with regular scissors. Then I'm taking this lavender essential oil and placing about 15 drops onto the rice. You can use more drops or fewer drops. You can use a different type of essential oil. That is completely up to you and what you love. Then I'm gathering all of the corners up from this fabric square, taking some twine and cutting that to about 6 to 10 inches long, and then tying the twine around the corners to create this little bundle. And you can kind of smush it up with your hands to get that oil distributed throughout your sachet, and now you have this cute little drawer sachet that you can give as a gift or keep for yourself. Pop it into your drawer, makes your clothes smell fresh and amazing, and it also looks adorable too.
Now here's a fun DIY that I made to repel mosquitoes. I found some mason jars I already had on hand. I cut up some lemons and limes and put 1 slice of lemon and 1 slice of lime in each of the mason jars. The citrus definitely helps repel the mosquitoes along with herbs. So these herbs are just some sage that I had on hand. You could use any type of herb that you want. And then I filled these about 3/4 full of water. I'm using some essential oils as well. So I like to use lavender as well as citronella and lemongrass. And those seem to work really well to repel mosquitoes. I placed 5 drops of each in each of these mason jars. And then you can buy some floating candles, or I just use tea lights and place them in here, and they work as well. Floating candles will probably work a little bit better. And these little luminaries are so pretty, and they also repel mosquitoes. And I've used them for about a week and they seem to be doing really well. I would probably replace everything in them every week or so. You can light them up and they look so pretty in the evening on your patio or on your porch. And like I've said, we used them about a week and the mosquitoes seem to stay away from them. Freshen your drains with a baking soda mixture. To keep your sink and shower drains fresh and flowing freely, mix together 1/2 cup of baking soda and 1/4 cup of salt. Pour this down your drain and then follow with at least 1/2 cup of warm vinegar. Let the drain bubble and sit for at least 10 minutes and then run hot water down the drain to freshen it up.
This kitchen towel at Dollarama, very cheap, only $2, and I feel like it has the right striped farmhouse vibe for this DIY. So I'm taking 2 of these towels and I'm just trimming them a little bit on the top and the bottom because I want this pillow to be a little more oblong rather than square. I'm pinning my little scraps of fringe trim on either side of the pillow on the short ends, making sure that it's turned in to the right side of the pillow, pinning that together. Now I'm using my sewing machine and just sewing those along the short sides of the pillow. Once the fringe is sewn on either side, I'm taking my other kitchen towel, placing it right sides together with the one with the fringe, pinning that around, and then sewing the perimeter of those 2 pieces together. Make sure you leave about a 6-inch hole in the bottom of the pillow. Now that I'm done sewing the 2 sides of the pillow together, I'm just trimming those corners. Taking that cover, flipping it right side out, and just trimming off any of the excess little fringe bits that I'm seeing on the ends. One tip that I love, if you have old sleeping pillows, don't throw them out, save them, because you can use that polyester fill for all of these DIY throw pillow projects and probably a ton more DIYs as well. I'm taking a needle and thread and I'm sewing that hole shut with what's called a blind stitch. Now this pillow is all done and this one is surprising me. I really like this one. The fringe on the end is just a great way to make this look a little bit more exciting than just a plain throw pillow. And I actually really like the texture of these kitchen towels.
So I love to recycle bottles. Often they'll have a really sticky residue. Grab some eucalyptus essential oil, put that on a cotton swab, and then you can rub that cotton ball all over the sticky residue on your bottle. and instantly it's going to take it right off. I was absolutely amazed when I did this. Immediately the residue was coming right off the bottle. Then after you remove everything with a eucalyptus essential oil, you can wash your bottle or your jar just as you normally would. I just use some dish soap and I put it in the sink, and then you can wipe it dry and your bottle is going to be perfect. I'm definitely using this one over and over again. So you've seen those really expensive frame TVs. I want to show you how I made this look like a piece of art for so much less money. First of all, I purchased an Amazon Fire Stick. We have 3 of these in our house. They're so fantastic. All you have to do is plug them into your TV and into the wall, and then it makes your TV a smart TV. You can connect it to all of your streaming services, and then the remote can be used to turn the TV on, to go to, Netflix, Discovery, YouTube. So I'm attaching this to my TV, getting it all set up, and then I'm just going to a YouTube channel that actually rotates between some vintage art. So I found a beautiful vintage art fall themed YouTube channel and the video, and I think it's like every 5 minutes it displays a different piece of art. So I am simply streaming that on the TV. I will link to that channel down in the description box below. They have multiple different videos that rotate through all sorts of artwork that looks beautiful in your home. What you might want to do if you're doing this is turn down the brightness of your TV, because that's going to make it look a lot more like real artwork. So now when I'm not enjoying the TV and watching my favorite shows, I can display some beautiful art to make this coffee station nook look a little bit more high-end and chic. Make your toilet paper look ultra fancy and luxe as you display it in your bathroom. You can fold the sides like this. So I fold these 2 sides in at an angle, and then you can fold the top down. It's almost like you're making a little present. Next, run your water just for 1 second and then place the toilet paper under the faucet, and it's going to create this little stamp. It almost looks like a wax seal. That's going to dry, and then you can display your toilet paper nicely on a shelf in your bathroom for your guests to grab. Use those shallow trays that you might find at the dollar store for organizing areas of your home. So I like those small trays. I found mine at Dollar Tree, I believe. I think they're actually for like desk organization or maybe even cutlery, but I've used them in my bathroom in the more shallow drawer in our vanity, and that helped organize some of my toiletries there. You could also use them in your kitchen, your office. There's lots of different places that you can use them to help corral and organize all of your loose items in drawers. Often my sheets will ball up in my dryer just like this, so they have an extremely wrinkled look, which I don't prefer, especially when I'm making the beds at my vacation rental. So the hack here is to take a washcloth and get it nice and wet, squeeze out most of the excess moisture, and then place your sheet back in the dryer, place the cloth inside, and then run it for about 20 more minutes. This is great if you don't have a steam dryer. This works very similarly. Once the 20 minutes is up, you can take the cloth out, the sheet out, and as you can see, it looks so much better. The wrinkles are almost gone, and when I make the bed, you can see that the sheet looks fantastic. Now, if you forget to do this and you have some wrinkles on your sheet or your duvet cover after you've made your bed, you can also take a damp cloth and just kind of wipe down the sheet or the duvet cover just like this. This is a great hack if you don't have a steamer or an iron on hand. Take a blow dryer if you have to, and your sheets look nice and crisp and lovely. So what you do for this hack is you grab a yogurt container or any other sort of plastic container with a round lid, and then you can cut the inside out of the lid just like I am doing right here, and you can also cut around the bottom of the rest of the container. So you can see the bottom and the top of the ring fit together just like this. Now let's try to put some fabric inside and see if we can get enough tension to make a proper embroidery hoop. I'm grabbing this linen that I had on hand, placing it on top of the bottom part that I cut out. and then placing the top of the container on top just like this. I wasn't sure this was gonna work, but I was pleasantly surprised at how much tension I got in this fabric using this cut lid. It was actually really amazing. I'm definitely gonna use this DIY hack to make embroidery hoops so I can make little embroidery gifts for my friends and family this year. So awesome. If you want to freshen up your bedding in between washes, this is my favorite way to make DIY linen spray or DIY room refresh spray. It smells amazing, but it also deodorizes because we're going to add some baking soda to it. From Dollarama, I'm picking up some baking soda, an essential oil, this lavender one, and some rubbing alcohol. I also picked up this spray bottle from Dollarama, and this is the one that I took the label off in the previous hack. Now I'm adding about 2 teaspoons of baking soda to my spray bottle, and then I'm adding about 30 drops of essential oil, but that can be up to you depending on how strong you want your linen spray to be. Then I'm adding about 1/3 cup of rubbing alcohol, and I'm filling the remainder of this bottle with some distilled water. This bottle is about 2 cups of liquid. Then I'm making sure to mix all of that up really well, and I'm making a DIY label to put on this bottle. If you want the free printable file for this label, I will leave a link to it down in that description box below. Now I can spray this on my bedding in between washes. It smells actually really good for dollar store essential oil, and I love that the baking soda really helps deodorize. This is also great if you have wrinkly sheets. You can spray this on your sheets and kind of tug and pull at your duvet cover or your sheets to smooth out those wrinkles.
We used all used appliances in our vacation rental to save some money. They're really beautiful appliances, but I wanted to make sure that our fridge smelled nice and clean. So after I completely cleaned out the fridge, bleached it, did the whole 9 yards, my friend that actually helps me clean our vacation rental now suggested to put some balled up newspaper inside the fridge. This traps and takes in any of the excess odors that are left in the fridge. We actually left our fridge closed with the newspaper inside for well over 2 weeks to make sure that all of those odors were out of the fridge into that newspaper. So if you have a stinky fridge, definitely try this method. It worked for me. After you take the newspapers out, you can put a little package of baking soda in the fridge to continue to make the fridge smell fresh. You can also try something like coffee beans. This also is going to help keep your fridge smelling nice and neutral, especially if you have some stinky things in there and take them out and need some sort of odor neutralizer after that.
So you're boiling pasta, and usually what you do is take a colander and you put it right into the sink and pour the pasta in. Water goes everywhere, but how about put it right inside the pot just like this? If you have one that fits, this is a great way to do it. And then you can drain the water out this way. I thought this was so cool when I saw it, and I've been using it ever since I saw it on TikTok. A lot easier, and it works really well. Our patio cushions get so disgusting. Our animals sleep on them and they just get really dirty from the winter. My favorite way to clean outdoor furniture cushions is with a pressure washer. I love this thing. I got it early this spring and it is so fantastic. Highly recommend. It's really fun to play with. So first we put soap in the pressure washer, and then we put that soap mixture over all of the cushions. After that, we go ahead and we rinse that off with water and the pressure washer. Look how satisfying this is as the dirt comes right off. You want to make sure to do this on a sunny day and then let the cushions just sit on your front lawn to dry. And then once the one side is dry, you can flip them over and let the other side dry so that there's no watermarks. I left these out in the sun for about half a day and I put them back on our patio furniture on the porch, and they look so beautiful. Just using some throw pillows I had on hand and some peonies from our garden to decorate the porch in a really simple manner. This home item is a little bit of a quirky one, but you will find it so useful. It's these furniture repair kit markers set. So it comes with the markers. It also comes with these little wax crayons. One of our guests decided to cut on our countertops, which we didn't love. So I had to repair one of the scratches with the markers. What I recommend to do is starting from the lightest color, even though they each have their own wood colors on the marker. Just start with the lightest color, test it out on your countertop, and you basically just color it over the scratch, wipe away any excess, and to me it looks
really good. So this is a great thing to use if you have scratches on your wooden cabinetry, your wooden furniture, and things like that.
Freshen those cutting boards with lemon. To help remove food stains and smells from your cutting boards, cut a lemon in half and then rub the cut side over the board. You can even sprinkle your cutting board with baking soda first for even more cleaning power.
So many of you ask about how I clean my faux plants. I like to use them in my rentals because I don't want to ask my guests to take care of live plants. One quick way is to use a blow dryer again, and you can blow dry all of the dust off the plants. That works pretty easily, but I also like to use fabric softener sheets. And what you can do with these is rub all the leaves front and back with the dryer sheets, and I find that this actually repels the dust and makes it a lot easier to keep these faux plants in my rentals, in my home, dust free. So I only have to do this about once a year, and it seems to be effective. I also use these dryer sheets on the top of my baseboards, just rub them along the baseboard to help repel dust. So something that works really well for small spaces is to try to make or find dual purpose furniture. So storage inside benches, storage inside side tables. Any place that you can add a little extra storage is really gonna help your small space. So I actually took some IKEA over the fridge kitchen cabinets and I turned them into a dining bench in our breakfast nook. It was a fairly straightforward DIY, quite fun to make. We still use this every single day. So it's a really comfy place to sit in our breakfast nook, but then it has that storage in the bottom front where I put all of my extra things like some servingware, trays, tea party stuff, and extra cutlery and things. I'll make sure to leave a link for that whole DIY down in that description box below. I love having matches nearby my candles, but I don't love how the typical matchboxes look. I found these matches at Dollarama, and then I found this jar in the kitchenware section with a bamboo lid, and I thought I could make a beautiful boutique style match jar. I'm removing the labels from the jar and then taking all of the matches out of the box and placing them in the jar. I have to do this horizontally so that the matches nicely in the jar, and it was actually pretty amazing. Almost the entire box of matches fit in this jar perfectly. Now I want to add some striking material onto the bottom of the jar so I can strike the matches on the bottom of the jar and use them. So I'm simply cutting out that little striking patch off of the original box, cutting it in half, and using some glue gun glue to attach that to the bottom of the jar. Now I have this really cute little jar that I can display beside my candles. It's really simple for me to take a match out of the jar, strike it on the bottom, and light my candle. I think this turned out super cute, and it could also be a great gift to pair with your favorite candle.
Clean your dryer vent with this vacuum attachment. This simple plastic tube attachment from Amazon attaches right to your vacuum, and you can place it far down your dryer vent from the dryer side and from the outside vent side to clean out all of that extra lint.
Oh my gosh. That's kind of scary. It picked up a lot of lint trapped in there.
If you use a tape measure often like I do, did you know that on the side or the bottom of the tape measure, you're going to find a measurement? In this case, this one is 3 inches and a quarter, and that's going to tell you the length of the measuring tape. This comes in handy when you're measuring a corner of a room. You can just use that 3 1/4 inches or whatever it is and place your tape flush against the corner. So here's an example. I'm just measuring this wall up to the corner. Rather than bending the tape like I normally would, I'm just adding 3 1/4 inches to my measurement. Here's what I normally would do, which is not that accurate. And here it is with that additional tape measurement. Such a good hack.
I want a solution where when I open the door, a light can come on and we can use our pantry. I found these motion sensitive strip lights on Amazon. I'm going to put this LED light strip and tape it up on the side of the pantry. So it just has like a little sticky backing that you can easily peel off and apply. And you can get these in different lengths, and I will make sure to link down to the product in the description box below. I put the little magnet that I showed you on the inside of the door frame, and I plugged the sensor into the strip. So now I'm going to just attach that onto the inside of the door frame. Oh, it does! Okay, here we go. I love this so much. Ta-da! If you have a cutting board like this with little feet on either side, this one is from IKEA. You can also find similar ones from Amazon. I will link them down in the description box below. They are actually the perfect thing to put on the arms of a sofa. And what I like to use mine for is to place my cup of coffee on top. And this way I can do some work on my phone, I can cuddle my cat, and then I have a spot for my coffee where it's not going to spill. Refresh throw pillows with this clothes dryer method. Some pillow covers aren't removable, or the pillows can't be put in the wash for one reason or another. One good way to remove any dust or bacteria from throw pillows is to put them in a hot clothes dryer for about 20 minutes. I like to use the steam sanitary function on my LG dryer for an even deeper clean. You might be surprised how much dust will be in that vent catch after doing this. Sometimes when you hang art up on the wall, the bottom corners of the art rub against your wall and create scratches. So to add bumpers, here is a really simple dollar store hack. You can just find a cheap glue gun and cheap glue sticks at dollar store. These are from Dollarama. And then on the back of your picture frame, just add small dots of hot glue to the bottom two corners of the frame. You can kind of build them up a little bit to make sure that they're sort of the same size as those little plastic bumpers that you might buy. This is a simple hack because you probably already have a glue gun and glue sticks on hand, so you really don't have to buy anything to add these bumpers to the back of your art. Now, once you hang your art on the wall, the little bits of hot glue will act as protectors so that your art isn't making scratches on the wall. So easy, and this works so well. If you have a foul or a really strong smell left in your kitchen, what you can do is combine 1 part water with 1 part vinegar into a pot on your stove and let that boil for a good 20-30 minutes. I find that really neutralizes any cooking smells. Make sure to put your fan on so that you don't have to deal with moisture issues, and enjoy that nice neutral effect at the end. This is really handy if you have a vacation rental as well, or you're trying to show your home, or you're having friends over and you've cooked something really strong and spicy the night before or the morning, and you want to just make the house smell just clean, fresh, and neutral. So in the case of IKEA feather inserts, use 2 of them in 1 pillow cover to make it look a lot more plush and full. You can do a similar thing with duvets. Use 2 duvet inserts in 1 duvet, or just use a larger size duvet. So for example, a California King in a king-sized duvet cover. If you currently fold your towels like this, I promise you there is a better way that looks so good. Take your towel, fold it horizontally once, and then fold it again, but don't put the end right up to the fold. Then you fold it into thirds and you have this lovely little package that looks good on its own, or it also looks good stacked with other towels. My mom taught me to fold towels like this when I was young, and I have never forgotten. Use this portable cleaning machine to deep clean your sofa. I've had my Bissell little green machine for well over a decade, and it's a powerhouse when it comes to spring cleaning. You can use it to clean carpets and upholstery like sofas. It seriously blows my mind how much dirt I can get out of our sofa when I use this machine to clean it. I like to spray my upholstery first with the cleaning solution and warm water, let it sit, and then go over the area with the vacuum and more water. that is fascinating and also disgusting. After only maybe 4 months of use, a seemingly clean couch, look what we got out of it. Have you ever used distilled white vinegar to clean your stainless steel appliances? For some reason, I have not done this. I learned this hack in the Martha Stewart book that I had read. I'll leave that in the description box below because she has some fantastic simple tips with vinegar in that book. You can spray it directly onto your stainless steel, full strength. Use a microfiber cloth and do 1 wipe with the vinegar with the microfiber cloth. Then grab a dry microfiber cloth and do a nice dry polish. And oh my goodness, you're gonna see that stainless steel shine. So keep in mind, these are used appliances, so they have a couple little scratches and dings in them, but look at the shine that I'm getting when I'm just using distilled white vinegar to clean these appliances. This is from Make Life Simpler on TikTok. First of all, I have my slotted spoon and a bowl, and I found a spoon that balances on top of the bowl, just like that. So I'm gonna crack the egg on the side and then put it into the spoon. Oh, that was a terrible egg crack. So some of the white is attached to the side of the spoon, but I mean, that works pretty well. You will need a glass spray bottle. You can find these on Amazon. They are fantastic because they are this amber color that helps keep all the ingredients from going rancid. I'll leave a link to these down in the description box below. You will need some liquid cast iron soap. You can also find this on Amazon as well. My favorite one is this Dr. Bronner's one. And then if you want, you can also use essential oils in your cleaner. So I'm gonna use orange essential oils in this one, but often I'll use lavender. After experimenting with just simple natural cleaners in our vacation rentals, I find that citrus scents are the ones that most people can enjoy. Scents like lavender, some people just can't handle those. If you're using a cleaner in a public space, or maybe someone in your family is sensitive to scents, just leave out the essential oil altogether, or just choose something nice and fresh like a citrus scent. I'm gonna eyeball these measurements, but you can measure them exactly. So for starters, I'm going to put some filtered water in here and just leave a little bit on top. Now that my filtered water is inside my bottle, I am going to add 1 teaspoon of cast iron soap. And you can use a teaspoon to measure this, but I'm just going to eyeball it. After the cast iron soap, you can add about 5 drops of essential oil if you want, or just leave out this step. It's totally up to you. And after I put the essential oils inside, you simply add the spray cap, give it a shake, and your easy DIY cleaning solution is ready to go. Super easy. This lasts a really long time. Again, costs about 50 cents to make, and you would pay about $5 for an all-purpose kitchen cleaner right now. I simply spray this on my surfaces and then wipe with a microfiber cloth. If you want one of these cute labels, I do have them for free on my blog, and I will link that down in the description box below. Usually I pop my brush with paint on it in a Ziploc bag just like this, but it doesn't always do the trick. Sometimes I get the paint that sticks on or dries out a little bit. So this is a hack that is supposed to keep your brush fresh for longer if you want to kind of store it for the next time. For this hack, you use aluminum foil and you put your brush with paint on it in the foil. So I'm just going to get this brush nice and wet in this chalk style paint, and then I'm going to place it in the middle of this aluminum foil. This one is just Betty Crocker stuff from the dollar store. Then you package up your brush really well, so I'm making sure that all of the air is sealed completely out of this aluminum foil. The next step is to put your brush in the fridge just like this, and you should be able to keep your brush wet and stored in the fridge for a really long time. I left my brush in for 1 week, so let's see how the paint is holding up. After uncovering my brush, it seriously looks like I've never even stored it away for a week. The paint is still nice and wet. I'm still able to use the paint right away and immediately. The brush isn't stiff or anything. So this is definitely a hack that I am going to be using. Instead of storing my brush in Ziploc, I'm going to put it in tin foil and pop it in the fridge. In the past, I've used regular bleach, but recently I have started to use oxygen bleach when I wash my white linens and white towels. So I've been using this OxiClean. I will link it down in the description box below, as well as everything that I'm mentioning here if you want to grab these items for yourself. You can just follow the directions on the label for this and just put the desired amount of OxiClean right into your wash when you wash your white linens and your white towels. But one hack that I love when I'm using this is pop it in your washing machine with your white towels, and then about half an hour into the cycle, pause the washing machine so that your white towels can soak for at least an hour in the OxiClean mixture. This is gonna help lift out a lot more of those stains. So what you do for this one is you take toilet paper rolls. I've seen this done where they cut the toilet paper rolls in half, but I want my distance between my tabs to be a little bit shorter, so I'm going to cut these into thirds. Make sure to check the description box below. I'm going to make sure to leave all of the original TikTok videos that I found these ideas from. Make sure to go give some love to the original creators of these ideas. So I cut all of these toilet paper rolls into 3 sections. I have 9 of these per curtain panel for mine. Now I'm putting 1 tab of my drapes through the curtain rod, and then I'm adding a little piece of the toilet paper roll, then the next tab, and then another piece of toilet paper roll, and so on and so forth until I use all of the pieces of rolls in between the tabs of my curtain. This is going to make each piece more even in between the tabs, plus it's going to add a little bit of fullness behind my drapes. So I've done it to the left panel as well as the right panel, and here the curtains look hanging up. I do need to give these a little bit of a steam or an iron, but you can see the difference here between the left window, which doesn't have the toilet paper rolls inserted, and the right one. It definitely looks a lot more full, and it gives it a little bit more of an elegant look. Clean window screens with a lint roller. Window screens can be hard to clean. I often use a brush attachment on my vacuum, but I find rolling them with a lint roller even more effective. You can use a lint roller for so many other things too. I like to use one to get rid of any lint on the linens at our vacation rental, or to pick up any hair or dust on the floor or sofa. I do really try to take care of my tools, but sometimes I will leave them out in the rain like this saw here. So for this hack, what you do is you take a tub, you put your tool inside that's rusty, and then you fill the tub up with some white vinegar. Just make sure that it covers the entire tool. Next, you're going to take some table salt. I didn't have any regular table salt, so I just used this sea salt. Put some of that inside of the container and let your tool sit for at least 24 hours inside of this salt and vinegar solution. Here's how my saw looked after. Oh wow, there's lots of rust inside this water, and the blade of my saw really oxidized. It was very, very dark, and I rubbed a lot of this black color off of it. However, the rust was completely gone. You take a vase, fill it with water, and then take some Scotch tape, or in my case, if your 6-year-old daughter used up all the Scotch tape for crafts, you can cut some packing tape into thirds, and you can just place it in a grid pattern over top of the vase. I did 3 pieces of tape horizontally and 2 vertically. Now you can cut your flowers down to size and place them in the holes that are created in the tape grid. And what this does is it helps keep nice space in between your flowers, just a really easy way to keep everything looking even. I did have to play with my flowers a little bit to get them to the look that I liked. My peonies, however, these are from my garden, are quite large in size. If you were using smaller flowers, this would be an even more helpful floral arrangement home hack. Here is how my vase turned out with that easy tape grid arrangement. I gotta say, I love this time of year when the peonies are in bloom in the garden. Only lasts a couple weeks, but it is absolutely magical. So if you want to create a window seat with storage in a bedroom, what you can do is situate one of their longer, shorter shelves underneath a window with two of the square ones on either side, and that's going to create a faux window seat. You can put a little bit of an extra piece of wood on top of the window seat in the middle if you want, and that's going to add some stability, and then you can add some cushions. So I did this in my middle daughter's bedroom. Love how it turned out. She is also a visual organizer like myself. She likes that simple visual organization. So when we put baskets in these shelves, that really worked for her and helped her put her clothes away much better. So we have all of her clothes and all of her toys in this faux window seat shelving DIY.
Make your grout sparkle with this vinegar mixture. For stubborn grout stains, a mixture of 2 parts warm water, 1 part vinegar, and a squirt of dish soap works wonders. Mix everything in a spray bottle, spray it on your grout, and let it sit for at least 10 minutes. Finally, scrub with a textured cloth or a brush and rinse. Download this app on your phone. It's called Bubble Level. I believe they have it for Android and iPhone. And you have a little level right on your phone. So you can use this in situations where you're DIYing and need to make sure what you're DIYing is nice and straight, or use this in a situation where you have to hang up a piece of art or a mirror or a photo and you want to make sure it's nice and level. You just open up the app on your phone, place it on top of the object that you want nice and level, and just make sure that bubble is right in the middle and your object is going to be level. I love this trick. Here's the next home hack. This is disgusting, our microwave. Oh my goodness, I'm so embarrassed to show this. So to get these nice and clean, take a measuring cup full of water, add a little squirt of dish soap, put that inside of your microwave, and make sure you put that microwave on for about 2 minutes. You're gonna get that water in the measuring cup nice and hot and steamy. The trick here that I learned on TikTok is once it's finished, don't open it yet. Leave it in there for another minute so the steam can continue to loosen up all of that grease and grime off of the inside of your microwave. Then you can take a paper towel or a cloth and all of that grease and grime should be able just to wipe right off. It did work really well for mine. I was able to get most of the grease off of the microwave, certainly much easier than if I didn't use this steaming technique. Here's another DIY hack for painter's tape. Often you'll just leave the tape like this, which is sometimes hard to grasp. But what you can do instead is fold the tape at a 90-degree angle, just like this, and then rip it off using the tape as sort of a spot to rip it, and then you have this nice triangle flap to grab the tape next time. I thought this was actually a really good way to rip painter's tape off. It does have a little bit of waste because you have that triangular flap, however, it was really easy to do.
If you have a stain on your towel or your sheet, use distilled white vinegar, spray that on, let it sit for a little bit, and gently lift it up with a microfiber cloth. That seems to get out the majority of any stains that I've seen on our white bedding and towels. Don't dry anything that's stained. Make sure that you pre-treat the stain before you throw your white linens and towels in the wash to make sure you get it out, because what drying does is it's gonna set that stain and it's gonna be even harder to get out later.
Use this method to clean your toaster. Did you know that your toaster has removable trays in the bottom for crumbs? It's embarrassing, but I didn't learn this fact until about 5 years ago. For a perfectly clean toaster, remove the bottom trays, dump those crumbs, and then wash the whole toaster and the trays with a squirt of dish soap and water. You can even use a toothbrush to get into the crevices. Just make sure your toaster is unplugged when you're cleaning.